What's up guys, hope all is well. My name is Naam. In this video, I want to discuss more about the updates to the programs that allow you to receive the extra $600 a week from unemployment. I also wanted to share with you guys a timeline of when you may receive this money and also clarification to avoid confusion between these programs. I've been hearing many of the same questions in the comments, so I'm here to answer them yet again. I've also listed all my sources in the description if you want to look them up for yourself. Everything that I'm going to be saying in this video is not made up. Everything is research and based off government and state websites. Of course, there's going to be cases where I tell you my own personal opinions, but I'll make sure I'll mention that. As a disclaimer, I'm not telling you guys I'm a CPA, I'm not employed by any state unemployment agency, and I also do not work for the federal government. So if I don't have the credentials that you guys are looking for, and that bothers you, that's okay, you guys don't have to listen to me. But if you decide to stick around, I'll be straight up and to the point as much as I can with the information that I want to share. So first, I wanted to talk about the timeline of when you may receive the extra $600 a week. There's already have been some individuals in certain states that's already received the money, but in certain states, they have yet to see it. Per the Department of Labor, they say that the timeline for these payments will vary by state. But I'll cover some states that have already said that they will start paying as soon as this week. So for individuals who live in California, according to the LA Times, for anyone who already processed claims for the week ending on April 11th, they should be credited on their EDD card on April 12th or when they typically get paid during that week. Remember, this is coming from them, not from me. Also, for individuals in California trying to get unemployment for being self-employed, the LA Times has also reported that the state is still struggling to set up a system to implement that portion of the CARES Act. Those individuals may have to wait a few more weeks before they can actually get started. While there is some conflict to the statement, according to the EDD website, it says just to file a claim through the current unemployment system. So this is just my own personal opinion. You can just wait until they have something up and running specifically for people who are self-employed, or you guys can just decide to do it right now, which I'd rather do, so at least your name is in the system. Texas has also mentioned that they should start seeing the additional $600 next week. So for any individual who has certified their unemployment by the week ending in April 4th, they should be seeing the $600 on their next payment. Again, all of this information is according to the Texas Workforce Commission Director. As for the state of New York, individuals who already have been approved for unemployment should have already started to receive the additional $600. If you recently just got approved for unemployment benefits, you may see the additional $600 on your following pay. There's already been confirmations about New Yorkers receiving their money. So for individuals living in Pennsylvania, they say that they'll start paying $600 a week beginning the week ending of April 4th all the way through July 25th. So meaning that your following payments should include the additional $600, so people should start expecting to see their money either Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. So for individuals who live in the state of Illinois, people who certify their benefits either the week of April 5th or April 12th should be receiving the additional $600 the following pay. So for people who live in Ohio, there hasn't been any reports of when they may start seeing the additional $600 a week. That goes for Florida as well. On the unemployment website, they said that they will provide the additional $600 a week, but there's no actual start date of when they may start implementing this. I know there are 50 states, but there's no way I could cover all 50, so these are just a few states that I wanted to mention. Your best bet is to always double check with your state's unemployment website for the latest information. To clear things up, there are 3 unemployment programs that pay the additional $600 a week: Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation, Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, and Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. First, let's talk about the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program. So under this program, anyone who's already collecting unemployment or qualified for unemployment benefits, they will receive the extra $600 a week until July 31st. Anyone who's already unemployed and already collecting, you do not have to do anything. You should just see an extra boost in your payments. Now let's talk about the second one, the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation. So for anyone who has already exhausted or about to exhaust their benefits, this is the information you guys need to know. According to the Department of Labor, they state that under this program, states they can provide up to 13 weeks of federally funded benefits to people who have already exhausted their benefits that ended on or after July 1st of 2019. Anyone who is not receiving regular unemployment benefits currently, they still have to meet the same unemployment qualifications such as able to work, available to work, and actively looking for work. This also depends on the state as well, because some of them, they don't require you to do it if there is a COVID-19 constraint. As of April 10th, the Department of Labor has issued guidance to the states of how to distribute the funds, and they also gave them $500 million in emergency administrative funds. So hopefully with all the money that they are receiving, this should speed up the process or make it more efficient. From what I researched, most states, they are implementing this program, so it's best to double check with your state's unemployment website to get the most accurate information. Unfortunately, it does come down to the state if they want to implement this. If you live in one of those states, then you may be out of luck. For instance, according to the Montana unemployment website, if you're within your benefit year or your benefits expire after March 15th, you will be processed for an extension. Unfortunately, they did not mention any people who have exhausted benefits prior to that date. So depending on the state that you live in, their online system may or may not be set up for extensions yet. Based off of Texas unemployment website, if you already exhausted your benefits after July 1st of 2019, all you can do is wait for notification. And once you receive notification, that's when you receive the extra 13 weeks of benefits. I know that's probably not the answer that most people want to hear. I know I wouldn't want to just sit back and wait until something happens. So for those who already applied for unemployment but got their application denied, if you guys meet the criteria for pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, you may just have to wait until the state notifies you that you are eligible. So I'm really hoping that the states say they get their stuff together. As a side note, if you think you may be eligible for the additional $600 a week, then just go ahead and apply for unemployment through your state. It doesn't hurt to apply. The worst thing they can do is just say no. Now let's talk about the third one, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. So under this program, this was meant for self-employed workers, freelancers, independent contractors, and part-time workers. But this also applies to people who don't have long enough work history to qualify for state unemployment insurance benefits. I have had many questions about people saying that they have started to look for work or just hired a month ago, but since they don't have enough work history, they're getting their unemployment applications denied. So pandemic unemployment assistance is payable for weeks of unemployment, partial unemployment, or inability to work caused by COVID-19 related reasons beginning on or after January 27th of 2020. As of the first week of April, the Department of Labor has published a letter showing how states can implement and operate this program. So this information is out there. We're basically just waiting for the states to start it. It may take some more time for states to be ready to process claims for freelancers, gig workers, or independent contractors because their system were not built for this. From what I found, most states will allow workers for retroactive payments and they can receive payments up to 39 weeks. So for any person that is self-employed, people who don't have enough work history, or people who may have just exhausted their benefits, they may qualify for the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. So far, the Department of Labor has said that all states have agreed to the Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program, which is a benefit for those already on or qualify for traditional state unemployment. Unfortunately, they did not report whether or not all states are going to implement the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation or the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. So here's my personal opinion. For anyone who's on unemployment currently or have received unemployment, there's really nothing that you guys have to worry about. For people who have already exhausted their benefits, this seems more of like a tricky situation because it really depends on the state of when they notify you to let you know that you are eligible. If your state allows for the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, you may qualify for that program if you already exhausted your benefits after January 27th. Of course, you can do other things such as try to reopen your claim if that's possible or extend your benefits if your state allows for it. And for individuals who are self-employed, unless your state tells you to just go ahead and apply for unemployment as you normally would, you may have to wait a little bit longer until the state's online web portal is able to take such requests. And for people who don't have enough work history, I suggest just applying for unemployment anyways, so as soon as the state gets their act together, just get your name in the system at least. And if for some magical reason, if they do have a specific portal just for you guys, go ahead and just reapply then. Also, I have been receiving so many questions pertaining to people's specific situations and they want to know whether or not they qualify. If you have any feeling that you're eligible for any of these benefits, feel free and apply for unemployment benefits anyways. I know that right now all the lines are busy, the websites are slow and crashing. It's because over 10 million people are trying to apply right now. Most states are giving retroactive pay for unemployment insurance benefits, and also they're doing that for the federal benefits as well. Even if you do get your case denied, don't think it's over yet. You may just have to wait a little bit longer until the states will notify you of what benefits you do qualify for. Alright, so I'm done with that heart to heart. Now let's move on to some Q&A that I'm still receiving quite a bit of. One thing I wanted to talk about was the taxes on the additional $600. Since this is a benefit for unemployment, depending on the state, some will automatically withhold taxes from those benefits and you may see a reduction of 10%. So that $600 will be $540 of what you see on your payment or $1080 if you receive it bi-weekly. I've also been receiving a lot of questions concerning if I quit my job because I'm concerned over the whole COVID-19 situation. Generally, when you leave your work voluntarily without a good reason, this will qualify you from receiving unemployment. And guys, I'm not making this stuff up. This is what it says directly from unemployment websites from states such as Illinois, California, and New York. Also, the Department of Labor said that if you decide to quit just to collect unemployment, that is considered fraud. And you can get in a whole lot of trouble. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not sure how much trouble, but I imagine it doesn't really look too good. The only way that you can get approved if you quit your job over concerns of COVID-19 is that you gotta have a good case and a good reason on why you quit. Like you have to have some sort of pre-existing condition, or you have to provide childcare, and you have to try to resolve this issue before you consider quitting. So since schools are shut down and daycares are closed, this may be a legit reason to quit your job and get unemployment. But if the only issue with you trying to go to work is being afraid of contracting the coronavirus, most likely you're not going to get qualified for unemployment. I have also received questions about people who work for churches or nonprofit organizations, whether or not they would qualify for the extra $600 a week. So according to the Department of Labor, they said that depending on the state laws, you may be covered. If your state doesn't provide unemployment regularly towards individuals who work for religious organizations or nonprofits, then they have the right to deny you from this pandemic unemployment assistance. For people who get paid under the table or get paid on a daily basis just with only cash, unless you can show proof of funds and have great record keeping like tax returns and things of the sort, then you may be eligible. So if you're not a regular employee, you may qualify for the pandemic unemployment assistance. But to be completely honest, I feel like it's going to be very difficult to get any sort of benefits unless you have great records. Where do I sign up to get the additional $600? Okay guys, I feel like I answered this question in every single video that I make and so many times in the comments. Even if I mentioned this in the video, I know that people will ask. The only way to sign up for the additional $600 is to file for unemployment. And if you're self-employed, if your state denies you for unemployment because your state doesn't typically allow for people who are self-employed to file, you may have to wait until you get a notice from your state or when they decide to have a system set up just for you guys. So one more time, the only thing that you have to do to sign up for the additional $600 a week is to file for unemployment. If you already are on unemployment, then you have to do nothing. Hopefully this helps. Alright guys, so that pretty much does it for me. Hopefully I was able to answer some of the questions for you guys about how you may receive the extra $600 a week. It's just a matter of time until they decide to pay it out. As the Department of Labor stated, all states have agreed to pay out the $600 a week for anyone who qualifies for the pandemic unemployment compensation. So if you guys have already been approved for unemployment, just give it some time and you eventually get your money. Most states are willing to do retroactive pay up to late March or early April, so don't think that you're lucked out because your unemployment claim has not been approved yet. And if all else fails, just call 1-877-CASH NOW. Totally not sponsored by JD Wentworth, but I thought that comment was hilarious. Hopefully this video clarified a lot for you guys. I'm pretty sure I hear the same questions in the comments, so continue to ask them and I'll still try to answer them. Please subscribe. And if you want to hang out with me some more, check out my videos over here.